So I make a lot of content around how to build a larger upper body and larger pecs. However, very often in those same comment sections, I will see people saying that they are following these guidelines, yet still not feeling sore in their chest. So today we're going to go over all the reasons I can possibly think of how you can improve your form so that when you are working your upper body, you can feel it in your chest and grow nice, juicy pecs. Because the thing is, if you're working really hard at the gym, the last thing you want is to be leaving gains on the table. So today we're going to be talking about chest press, and the first thing we have to discuss when talking about proper form with your upper body is posture. Oh my God, my handwriting sucks. When you're doing a chest press and you're not feeling it in your chest, I think the most important thing to check first is making sure that your shoulders aren't pushing forward. When you hunch over and bring your delts forward, they start doing a lot more work than they should, and they take away from the tension in the chest. So remember, when you're pressing, make sure your shoulders are back and your chest is forward. If you don't know how it should feel when your shoulders are pulled back as you're lying on the bench, a fantastic method that I have my clients do is lying on a foam roller so that their spine aligns with the roller itself. By putting that barrier between them and the ground, it allows them to realign and feel exactly how far the chest should be forward when they are prepping to do their lift. This is also a really great move for showing a proper range of motion versus what is too far of a reach. You're going to be able to extend your arms as far as they go without taking away the power from your chest. The second thing regarding posture, we are going to keep our hips on the bench. I see this all the time at the gym. When the weight is heavy, people love to lift their hips and just put on a show. But that is bad. Stop it. The more still your body is and the more you allow yourself to just isolate your arms so it's the only thing moving, the more good work you're going to get out of your pecs. So this is essentially how to hold your body. Now let's talk about how to hold the bar. I'm sorry, we have to stop. I don't know why I chose a career where I have to write on a whiteboard. My handwriting sucks. I can't spell for shit. Clearly, I didn't grow these to showcase my intelligence. Comment below. Show me your intelligence. Anyway, what are we talking about? Right, presses. When I'm grabbing the bar, I like to place my hands a little farther than shoulder width apart. But if you want to be real precise about it and find the perfect grip for your hands, start with your arms at a 90-degree angle, lower your elbows 45 degrees, then reach to grab the bar, and that is going to be your ideal spot. And if you're very clever, you'll notice that this is just a reverse engineering of the press itself to find where you're most comfortable pressing with the bar. Also, if you've ever seen someone with a closed grip before, that's not someone doing it wrong. That just means that the closer your hands are together, the more your triceps are going to get some attention. So it's not bad form, it's just someone doing something different. That's why you see that. When you're positioning yourself for the lift, you're going to start with your eyes directly underneath the bar. This is because once you take the bar off the hooks, you're going to line the barbell up with your chest. If your body is too far forward, you could be reaching too far to pick up the weight, or you can miss the hooks entirely when you're trying to put it back. And if your body's too far back, you could get caught underneath the hooks while trying to put the weight back, and that's a dangerous spot to be, especially if you're tired from your last rep. So once you've picked the weight up, you're going to lower the weight down to your chest. I like to tap my chest just lightly so I can know I'm getting that full extension. You're going to keep your elbows at a 45-degree angle so you're not shrugging and causing stress on your delts or traps. And last, you're going to tighten your core and isolate your arms so they are the only thing moving. And for the record, this is something that I have to constantly remind myself to do because especially on stream, people will catch me moving my legs around a ton when I am trying to press really hard. I don't know why I move my legs around so much. It's just something I do. So I guess the moral of the story is do as I say, not as I do. And if I'm on stream and you see me doing something wrong, depending on my mood, I will either say thank you or block you entirely. So I guess you're just gonna have to roll those dice. Anyway, that's the press. Now let's talk about whether or not you should be curving your back when you're doing bench presses. I get this question all the time. Technically, a curved back is better for your chest, but that doesn't mean a flat back on the bench or on the floor is incorrect. By planting your feet down, pushing your chest out, and adjusting your hips back, you're going to apply more weight to the chest and pecs because it changes the pressing angle. It's the same kind of principle of doing dips up and down versus doing dips slightly forward. It changes the muscle group that is being used in order to lift your body up. What I mean by bringing all this up is that you should be trying to achieve a gorgeous curved back when you're pressing at a barbell or on a bench. However, if a barbell is too intimidating, or if it's a busy day at the gym and you don't have access to an entire rack, then floor pressing with some free weights is still a fantastic way to train your upper body. Floor presses are when you lie flat on the floor, elbows out, pressing all the way up and back down. It's incredibly simple and it's pretty much foolproof because you're trading that range of motion with 100% stability by lying on the floor. Are you gonna get as good as a press as you would at a bench? No. But does it still count for something? Absolutely. All that is to say, if your alternative to a bench press is nothing, then a floor press is a fantastic middle ground, and I really like them for that. So that's how you do the chest press, except we have one more thing to discuss, and it's the reason you guys are all here. Why are you still small? I hear from a lot of people that are constantly frustrated because they're increasing their strength, but not mass. And on its face, this is a very difficult subject to discuss because if I'm gonna be frank, a lot of you are liars. I have had so many clients over the years who have worked with me and have claimed that they weren't growing until we measure them and then learn, they were growing, they just didn't notice it in the mirror because they're insecure. That is a very real possibility as to why you might be believing this. But if you're not a liar and you actually aren't growing, other reasons could be that you are not getting the right amount of nutrients, you could be shorting yourself on calories or protein, or it could be that you're not leaving the gym sore enough. And although soreness isn't exactly a metric for muscle growth, our bodies are evolutionarily engineered to get used to the same movements over and over again so that we don't get fatigued doing the same thing over and over each day. So that could be a sign that you need to switch things up. Different moves, different timed intervals, different speeds at which you lift the weights. Also, something that's very helpful is taking a friend to the gym and doing their sets and seeing how you compare and seeing what you can learn from their styles. It's difficult to tell why you're possibly not growing at the gym, but I think universally, the reason that I see a lot of people falling into plateaus is because they're trying to do everything all at once. The more you're capable of slowing down, focusing on one body part, and learning to isolate specific muscle groups, the more you're going to be able to establish a program for yourself that you can build upon. You're not going to grow huge overnight, but if you're constantly trying new things, focused, and taking notes to see how your body reacts to different movements and workouts, you're going to have a much easier time being successful than the people who are just panicking because they aren't as big as the influencers they follow. Anyway, that's all I got for today, folks. If you have any questions, of course, leave them in the comment section down below. And if you want to watch me do these workouts live, you can join me on Twitch. You can also come on in and ask me any questions that you might have. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see ya next time.